The US debt has tripled in just 20 years, from $12 trillion in 2005 to over $36 trillion today. And here's the kicker. America now spends $1 trillion every year just to pay the interest. That's more than it spends on defense. Let's rewind. In 2005, the national debt was around $12 trillion. By 2020, it hit $27 trillion today. Over $36 trillion. That's a $24 trillion increase in just 2 decades. And it's not slowing down. Here's the scary part. The US now spends $1 trillion a year just on interest payments. That's more than it spends on Medicare, Medicaid, or the military. By 2035, interest payments could hit $1.8 trillion annually. This isn't money going to roads, schools, or healthcare. It's just to keep the debt from collapsing. So what's driving this debt explosion? It's a mix of factors that, combined, create an alarming financial landscape. The first element is massive deficit spending, where government expenditures far exceed revenues. This captures attention, as it signifies an unsustainable fiscal policy that puts future generations at risk. Another component at play is the COVID stimulus packages. While these packages were necessary to support individuals and businesses during the pandemic, they also added significantly to the national debt and increased reliance on borrowed funds. As effective as these measures were in the short term, their long-term implications raise concerns about the health of the economy. Tax cuts without corresponding spending cuts have also contributed to the growing debt. Decreasing revenue without a reduction in expenses means more borrowing is required to fund government operations, leading to a vicious cycle. Each tax cut has its benefits, but when not balanced with proper fiscal oversight, it accelerates the debt accumulation. Moreover, rising interest rates exacerbate this crisis. As the government looks to refinance older debts, higher rates mean increased costs that can lead to more borrowing. In 2025 alone, a staggering $9.2 trillion US debt is maturing, and refinancing at elevated interest rates poses a monumental challenge that could ripple through many sectors of the economy. This growing debt mountain undoubtedly affects you. Higher taxes may be on the horizon, as the government will seek to recoup its incurred debts. Cuts to public programs could lead to reduced services that many rely on, placing a strain on households across the nation. Furthermore, slower economic growth is an imminent danger, created by the drags of servicing this debt rather than investing in future growth. There's also an inflation risk, where increased borrowing could fuel inflation, diminishing the purchasing power of your income. Given these scenarios, the government is essentially borrowing from your future, with the bill already starting to mount. America's debt is no longer just a number, it's a ticking time bomb. Protecting your money from the fallout requires awareness and action. Subscribe to Global Wealth Lab, where we break it down swiftly and clearly, keeping you informed and equipped to navigate these turbulent financial waters.